ve kumutela rukwao. Utuboshanga perawina. Okwepa.
Even though there are no headstones, hundreds of people are buried here.
This is the gravesite. You will see those small heaps of sand. These are actually graves. If we were to dig just with my hand, we will come across bones.
This land became a makeshift graveyard when Namibia was a German colony.
The burial was done by German soldiers. There was no proper burial, no respect whatsoever to the dead.
From 1904 to 1908, after a German general issued an extermination order, soldiers killed an estimated 100,000 people from two ethnic groups, the Herero and Nama. Many survivors fled, but Germany threw the rest in concentration camps, previewing techniques later used in the Holocaust.
All this area, it was the concentration camp going into the sea. 30,000 people were kept here. Many of my family members were held in concentration camps.
The killings shrunk the Herero and Nama from some of the biggest groups in Namibia to two of the smallest. Many historians consider it the first genocide of the 20th century.
This one is Slachte Street. It's a street that says to slaughter, to kill. After the war, all those areas that we occupied, they were confiscated by Germans, and most of these areas, they are owned by white settlers, if I may put it.
The Herero and Nama filed a class action lawsuit against Germany in New York last year, using an 18th century statute that allows non-Americans to sue in U.S. courts over human rights violations. Since then, they've been visiting their ancestors to pray for success. But the Herero's ancestors are buried next to German soldiers.
It has been written there in German, the so-called heroes, because they killed our grandmothers and fathers. We hope to get an apology from the Germans.
They also want reparations, money they could use to buy back land still held by Namibians of German descent. Today, white Namibians make up 6% of the population, but they own nearly 60% of the country's private land and don't want to give it up.
I'm from Namibia, born and raised. They want the land back? How? Sorry, but that's just, I mean, really? It's not even their land. If they wanted their land, then they should have done something 100 years ago. And who's to say that the land originally even belonged to them? For all we know, there were people before them there who they took the land from, so...
The German government declined multiple requests for comment, but it's publicly refused to call what it did to the tribes a genocide. And in court filings, Germany argues the class action lawsuit is illegitimate because it was filed in the US. Other bygone colonial powers, like the UK and France, are watching. A Nama and Herero win could set a legal precedent, opening the floodgates for former colonies to sue over the historical record.
It's over 100 years back. It's going to be very difficult for all the other European countries who had colonies in Africa. It will be very difficult if one country starts paying now and the rest also have to pay. Germany is giving Namibia so much money since independence, and they made it very clear that they are willing to donate much more money for the country and not for a certain tribe.
Over the last 2 years, Berlin has sent $150 million in aid to Windhoek, and Germany's ambassador has touted the fact that it gives more money per capita to Namibia than to any other country. People from the Herero diaspora gathered at a recent hearing in Manhattan.
Until Germany faces us and addresses our legitimate complaint, any kind of agreement will not obliterate our lawful claims. The struggle will simply continue.
Their lawyer helped American Jews get reparations from Germany after the Holocaust.
I really don't buy the floodgates argument. The fact pattern is so clear cut. You have a written extermination order. There's really no defense that, well, we were just putting down an uprising and maybe we were a little excessive, but it wasn't a genocide. Here you have a written policy. It's the only written policy of extermination that I'm aware of. I don't know of a stronger case than this.
Germany owes Namibia for what they did to the Africans at Shark Island. That was the testing ground for what they did with the Ashkenazium Holocaust. And also, the Ashkenazium weren't the only ones. There were blacks that died also in World War II, a lot of gypsies, and other different ethnic groups. But this is never talked about. Never. I think the first time I heard of this was on some documentary I stumbled on. And I was just floored. I'm like, man, I never learned about this. And then it's just the horrific things. This is what they were doing, taking these people to a concentration camp. They started there. They started in Africa. Here's what it says: African prisoners of war transported to the Swakopmund concentration camp and Winstock concentration camp by train or on foot. Colonial Book 1907. See, they started with us. This is the devil that actually spearheaded a lot of it. I think his name was Klein Weilheim or something like that. Yeah, this freaking devil. Somebody should go and piss on his grave. Yeah, these Nazis were serious, and they used a lot of the body parts as an experiment. It's really messed up what happened over there. They used this to further their whole racial study and whatnot, and they did a lot of evil stuff. I mean, there was so much skeleton sticking out of the island, they killed so many people and buried them like nothing and discarded them, just like that video said. And they should ask for reparations. No, they should demand reparations because of what was done to them. Shoot, a lot of these Ashkenazium got theirs. Now it's time for the Namibians to do that. And as for that little stupid ass bitch that was talking about the land wasn't theirs, how the hell do you know? That's the same thing that they say about Zimbabwe and South Africa. How do you know? And they use this damn excuse. Oh, well, maybe they acquired it. Prove it to me. Prove it to me. Prove it. Those people are indigenous to that land. You are not. I can't stand that. And I hope somebody freaking sees her ass for that. Fucking devil. Yeah. It's messed up. They'll try to claim that lie that, it's not their land. How the hell is it not their land? It's not your land. You are not native to that. That tramp that was talking shit in the video talking about it's not their land. How the hell is it not their land? Man, I can't stand that. It's funny how these white supremacists will use excuses like that. It's made up. It's the I'm white and I say so rule. Big time. I mean, that doesn't make any damn sense. How the fuck is it not their land? They were there way before you, and they're indigenous to the land. I mean, that's their way to explain away. It's totally devil-splaining. That's what it is. And it's funny they say that about the Zulus, and the Sand People. But the thing is, a lot of the Zulus were cool with the Sand People. They shared the land. There was no dumb cutting up of the land like these devils did. So they're doing the same thing with Namibians. And seriously, dude, I really hope that they are successful with this. There needs to be paid a lot of money. I don't care if they did supposedly pay money to them. Look who probably got it. Where's the resources for a lot of the Namibians? The black Namibians. There's no such thing as a white Namibian. No, you're German. All these devils will talk about Europe for Europeans or whatever, and all this other segregationist bull crap. And then they go and invade other lands and try to claim that and try to kick everybody off of their land. You know what? I really hope it backfires on people like that, or devils like that, because they deserve what they put out. Anyway, let me know what you guys think, because this needs to be pushed. People need to know about this. Africans worldwide need to know about this. Us in America, the Africans in Latin America, the Africans in Europe and the Caribbean, Africans in the Middle East, all of this stuff should be known by us. Not just Africans, but black people that have suffered everywhere, even the so-called Australoid blacks. So yeah, please like, subscribe if you want, and share that information. Do your own videos about this. This is a genocide that needs to be talked about. It needs to seriously be compensated for. Germany owes Namibia. Talk to you guys later.